Digital technology truly opens opportunities. We all just have to harness its potential to create better experiences for everyone. This leads us to our next speaker who will talk about how tourist attractions and venues like museums have adapted to the new normal. Tour agencies and tour guides, listen up. We want your full attention, all eyes and ears on the screen right now. You might just get tips and tricks to making your on ground tours more interesting, even to those who are right at home. Starting this talk is the Senior Director of the Ayala Museum, Miss Elizabeth L. Gustilo.
Good afternoon. Thank you to the Tourism Board of the Philippines for inviting me to speak today about how Ayala Museum pivoted to adjust to the new normal. But first, a bit of background about Ayala Museum. We are an art and history museum that exists under the auspices of the Ayala Foundation. Ayala Museum was built in the 1970s on the belief that arts and culture advocacy is a powerful form of civic action. The mandate was to empower and instill pride in Filipinos through a deeper understanding of our own traditions, history, and culture. Over the years, this mandate has remained the same, though executed to be responsive to the times. Our collections include Philippine pre-colonial gold from the 10th to the 13th century, Asian tradeware ceramics from the 9th to the 16th century of the Roberto T. Villanueva Foundation, and indigenous Philippine textiles donated by Mercedes Sobel. We are also known for the Philippine Diorama Experience, 60 handcrafted dioramas that visually narrate the significant milestones of Philippine history. Our fine arts collections are focused on the works of Juan Luna, Fernando Amorsolo, and Fernando Sobel. At the core of our modern and contemporary art collection are the winning entries of the Shell Art Awards from 1951 to the present through a generous donation of Filipina Shell. We also manage the art collection of the Bank of the Philippine Islands. In 2013, the Ayala Museum's 6th floor became the home of Filipinas Heritage Library, making its extensive collection of Filipiniana materials and other references on Philippine arts, history, and culture a fine complement to the museum collections. Like all museums, our operations are primarily defined by exhibitions and education programming. Over the past few years, cognizant of the challenge to be relevant to an already overstimulated audience, our programming included an average of 14 exhibitions per year, workshops and lectures, concerts and performances, and museum-branded events like Inspire Every Day, Midnight Museum, and International Museum Day. Ayala Museum also did its share to promote Philippine culture abroad. In 2015, we organized the exhibition Philippine Treasures of Forgotten Kingdoms with Asia Society Museum in New York City, featuring select objects from our pre-colonial gold collection with that from the Bangko Central. In 2017, Ayala Museum became the first Philippine museum to participate in the Venice Biennale as a collateral event with the exhibition Fernando Sobel Contrapuntos. We also began our digital journey. We started digitizing our collections. We had an app. We used VR to contemporize the dioramas. We also had content, films and videos produced to complement exhibitions, document lectures and events, or focus on objects of our collection that were points of fascination. We were also very active on social media. In 2019, we closed the museum for a one-year renovation project. In retrospect, the timing couldn't have been more perfect because in a matter of months, COVID-19 turned the world upside down. What could we do, we asked ourselves, to be relevant under these circumstances? How could we contribute, in our own humble way, to help deal with such a destabilizing occurrence? Digging deep into our own existing content, we developed a full range of online materials to help provide levity and encourage creativity and learning during the lockdown. Here are some of them. By June 2020, ECQ was lifted and we resumed renovation with hopes to reopen sometime in 2021. But then, as you all know, we have been subjected to more lockdowns thereafter, and as a result, the reopening dates keep moving too. It was in this context that we launched Ayala Museum Virtual on August 2020 to mark our commitment to bring Philippine art and culture to the online space, not just as an interim strategy, but as a way of doing business. This required totally new content, specifically designed for the online platform, demanding innovation and creativity from the staff, and enhanced commitment to working with new technologies. No doubt it was a young team at the museum who led the way with close oversight by the more senior and seasoned staff. The organization became more agile, pursuing what tech engineers refer to as minimum viable product ideas. It was admittedly a new way of working, but as they say, necessity is the mother of invention. Since then, we have worked on a range of concepts that found us working with new technologies and new partnerships. Here are some of them.
How do museum visits look like in the time of COVID beyond video tours and events? Introducing Ayala Museum's Where is the Filipino? An interactive live virtual tour that captures the magic of being inside a museum, the sense of space, the communal experience, and the joy and wonder of encountering objects from the Ayala Museum collection as visitors travel across the Philippine map. The tour is held on GatherTown, an online social platform that allows guests to interact with each other, control an avatar, and explore a 2D map. Ayala Museum utilized GatherTown's functionality to map out more than 100 objects from its indigenous and ethnographic collection on the Philippine map, providing an opportunity to situate and interact with each object in their places of origin. The tour package includes traveling across the Philippines, encountering museum objects, learning about our culture, and connecting with friends. The tour gained both international recognition and local support for promoting online tourism and creatively engaging the online community. Over 10 days, Where is the Filipino garnered 198,271 in online reach and 1,225 unique visitors from 34 countries across all ages. 63.2% have never even been to the Ayala Museum. Museum practitioners from other countries also joined in and recognized the value of the innovative tour. An article about the tour was posted on the website of Taiwan's Ministry of Culture and Chinese Association of Museums as a good example of Taiwan's museums to emulate during the pandemic. Easy to access, use, and share, the Where is the Filipino tour changed the game when it comes to what the museum online experience can be.
The shift online has enabled us to reach a broader audience more than ever before. And as we prepare to reopen, providing engaging hybrid experiences will definitely be the new frontier. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you very much for that, Ms. Gustilo. Now, if you have any questions for Ms. Gustilo, please send it over in the chat box. But thank you very much for that presentation. You know, watching that video made me and a lot of our attendees miss going to museums. It's truly quite an experience. It's a learning experience. If you have any questions for her, please do send it over in our chat box so we can address while Ms. Gustilo is right here with us. Now, please let me know as well what it is that you missed the most about visiting museums. Okay, what's your favorite part? I have a 6-year-old daughter who hasn't been out, of course, since 2019, and I'm pretty sure heading off to a museum is going to be quite the experience for her. Just, you know, learning all of these things, of course, without touching, but seeing. I think just being out of the house is already something that she will truly appreciate. Okay, we already have a couple of questions coming in for Ms. Gustilo. Hi to you, Ms. Gustilo. Are you with us? Can you share the screen with me? There she is. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. How are you? I hope you are safe and well.
We're trying very hard to keep safe. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's exactly what all of us are doing right now. Trying our best, trying to make do with the situation that we are in. I have a question here. How do we avail of a virtual tour package?
Oh, thank you for inquiring. Please look for us in Facebook. Look for our Facebook account, and the information will be there. We're already starting to make it available to everyone, and all you have to do is register. And please look for Ayala Museum on Facebook page. Information will be there, and or through our website www.ayalamuseum.org.
All right, so you've got 2 ways to reach them. One is through Facebook. Just search for Ayala Museum. And then there is a website, www.ayalamuseum.org. Did I get that correctly?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Do you have any other questions? Please let us know in the chat. Send it over quickly so, you know, we don't have a Ms. Gustilo waiting for more of your questions. Okay, Ms. Gustilo, if and when it is actually already safe to step out and go to the museum for real and be there, be physically present at the museums, what do you recommend to be the first place, first area, first thing we should go to and look at?
You know, as you know, we're under renovation. And so we are now preparing to reopen, and it will all be new exhibitions. So it will really be new things for everyone to see, even our permanent collections like the gold and the textiles and the ceramics. They're going to be upgraded. So there's a lot of things for people to see. Now, we only wish that we would be allowed to at least open by the end of the year, because I think IATF at the moment does not allow museums to open. So that's why we're very heavily online. And being online, as I was listening to the rest of your speakers, will really be the way of the future. We have to be online, we have to be on site, we have to be everywhere. So this has really been a very interesting experience for us. You know, museums are rather conservative institutions.
Yes.
And the fact that we've been able to explore these new ways of reaching out has been fabulous. And as I said in my talk, we really relied on the younger people to help us, because they know how to make use of the platforms. They know they understand how it's used. And I think that's one thing that I'd like to share with everyone. Content is so important. You can have the platform, but if your content is flat, you cannot engage. So that's always been the challenge for us, considering that it's about history, it's about art, it's not a widely appreciated category, but we need to try, especially when you're online, because you're competing for everybody's attention, so with everything else. So yes, I think there will be a lot to see in the new museum, assuming we can open. We're preparing, but you will also be able to see most of it online. So we're trying to see how we can balance that, because it is the new normal. It's not going to go back to the way it was before.
There you have it. The Ayala Museum has also pivoted. They are going to make their virtual presence felt as well. Thank you very much to Miss Elizabeth Gustilo. Virtual applause for her. Please send her love over in the chat box. And that was a fantastic invite. You know, more than enough reason to go to the Ayala Museum if and when it does open up. Whether you choose to go there virtually or physically, well, then you know that it's really up to you. But either way, they are going to be open in both platforms.
Right. We're always going to be around. We'll never be away. Thank you.
And for that, we thank you, because we need you around. All right. Thank you very much again to Miss Elizabeth Gustilo. On virtual experiences. Here we have the museum director of the Yuchengco Museum, Miss Jeannie Javelosa.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation from the Tourism Promotion Board, and to support as the other end of the bookend of the Ayala Avenue. From the Ayala Museum at the very end, we have the Yuchengco Museum. And this is what I represent for this talk here. And again, just like all the museums all around the world, the pivot has been intense, becoming more intense for us because we do not have a very big and solid art collection. The museum called the Yuchengco Museum was put together as a private museum by Ambassador Alfonso Yuchengco. And it was basically from his private collection, mostly amorsolos, and several masterpieces by our national artists that are part of our small collection. So the space, which is at the end of the corner of the Buendia, Senator Gil Puyat, and that of Ayala Museum, you will see a cone-shaped building. That is the Yuchengco Museum. And because of, we are pretty much new, the younger ones in the block of the museum world, our role has been since we began was how can we find the gaps that the other museums are not touching on, just so we can support the continuous collaboration. Because we had a very small collection, we had to find collaborative partners, and that is why the space was mostly for a lot of events, no? Not just for art, but also for the creative industries. Now, because of the pivot we had to do, and the challenge that we are a very, very lean and small team at the museum, what had happened was, even 2 years before the hit of COVID, we were already on the space of trying to position and move into art and technology, and to see how we can merge technology alongside that of culture and the arts. Now, what happened was, everything we were planning was suddenly triggered even stronger when COVID came, and we really had to go online, specific to cultural education. So allow me first to show you a video that we've done of, our little team putting together whatever we could just the moment COVID started. And then after that, I would have a short PowerPoint to be able to show you a direction setting we have taken on as a collaborative partner to various groups. Could we run the video, please? Culture is part of everyday life. It's how we breathe, we dress, we talk. It's how we express ourselves in music and dance, in cuisine and in food. Education of this culture is often not done in the country, except through printed media. So here at the Yuchengco Museum, we're doing something totally now. Our cultural education material from here on is going to move into digital space, online, so that people from all over the world can actually download and understand the exhibitions we have here in the Yuchengco Museum. Culture is a constantly changing energy. It is about pop, indigenous, traditional, contemporary also, and this is what we have to try to bring into film, into fora discussion, into dialogues and conversations online, so that even our Filipinos who are abroad, as well as our foreign friends, will understand what Philippine culture is, from experts, from those who want to share their culture, and from the beautiful exhibitions that we have here at the Yuchengco Museum.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome to the Yuchengco Museum Online. We hope you enjoy this experience with us, and even if you cannot visit the museum as yet, we hope to share with you what we have in our archives, as well as what we have on the walls for the cultural education that will allow you to enjoy, be proud of, and totally appreciate culture and the arts of the Philippines. potential allegory arises from the depiction of an imposing gate that announces posh property. Written on it is the graffiti Kalayaan, rendered in rust. Beyond the gate is an intimation of the sky, which mimics the chromic atmosphere of the gate. The tension between the two spaces can only be crossed by struggle. In this work, freedom is a rusted and weathered gate waiting to be stormed and opened. This work can be considered a social realist theme in that it has on the graffiti wall the word Kalayaan, the idea of freedom within locked gates, creating a separation of space in the foreground with the gate and the background, which is the sky. So it creates a storyline of wanting that freedom, or perhaps to be able to appreciate the idea of freedom while others are locked in. The title itself, Almost There, in exclamation points, is all about the idea of hope, that it's almost there, the freedom, the gate about to open, and we feel that it's opening by the way the perspective of the drawing is done, the gate about to open to a space that is free. So when you look at the very detailed rendition of the way the gate happens, including the beautiful way the artist has rendered our rust and the graffiti, it shows you how symbolic realism can actually move people even by the pure static composition. When you look at it, it can also mean that the theme talks about two different classes, the poverty on one side and that of wealth on the other, and the great divide that is there, and perhaps the hope that at some point this gate will be gone. And this is what Kalayaan means. When that separation is broken, when there is nothing that can break and keep apart that a people, then freedom would have been won. But for now, even where we are, as we sit on lockdown, this is what we want, the freedom to be able to run into an open space. So this is truly a painting for our times. The changing images of women have always been painted by our artists. Our Filipino artists look to women as a subject matter and, like other artists all over the world, have been inspired by the woman's image as well as try to explain significant messages through the way they depicted women. Amorsolo was known to portray traditional Filipino customs, culture, fiestas, and occupations. But what was unique was for him to be able to highlight the ideal of the pastoral. As far as he can, away from the American colonial rule, he wanted to identify a national template, counterpoint to everything that was colonized. And this is where he began to form that of a Filipino national identity, celebrating the pastoral scene of simple genre images that showcase ordinary people at work and also landscapes of intense, beautiful tropical sunlight. Amorsolo was educated in the classical tradition and aimed to achieve his Philippine version of the Greek ideal for the human form. And this is where the Filipina image of woman came. In the center of his beautiful landscapes, there was always the woman, either aligned with man or with nature, working or by herself in her own beauty, the ideal of the pastoral. Fernando Amorsolo once wrote about this. The women I paint should have a rounded face, not of the oval type, often presented to us in newspapers and magazine illustrations. The eyes should be exceptionally lively, not the dreamy, sleepy type that characterizes the Mongolian. The nose should be of the blunt form, but firm and strongly marked. So the ideal Filipina beauty should not necessarily be white complexion, nor of the dark brown color of the typical Malayan, but of the clear skin or fresh-colored type, which we can often witness when we met a blushing girl. National artist Fernando Amorsolo dominated the Commonwealth period, post-war, of the Philippines. He became the master of the tropical sunlight, known for his sensitivity to the effects of light and highlighting a more romantic touch in all his artworks. Amorsolo infused his paintings with light and developed what we call a backlighting technique, which illuminated his landscapes. In a way, it was a slight chiaroscuro, which was being able to show the intense darkness versus the light, and yet his was that with a subtlety infused by light. In a typical Amorsolo painting, figures are outlined against a characteristic glow and intense light on one part of the canvas that highlights all the details. The Philippine sunlight, that of our tropical land, was a constant feature of Amorsolo's works.
Everybody, this is Cassie. I'm the marketing coordinator of Yuchengco Museum, and today we're going to be focusing on the Yuchengco Museum Books and Gift Shop. So, as we all know, Christmas is right around the corner, and we know that you guys are worried or stressed out about what to get for your friends, your family, your loved ones, kids, your nieces, your nephews, everyone. And here in the Yuchengco Museum Books and Gifts Corner, we're going to make it just a little bit easier for you guys.
So I just wanted to share that the first video that we had included here was actually 2 years before COVID. So we were already preparing and we picked up everything from our archives, whatever materials we could. And you know, all the people you saw there, that's the team. So all of a sudden, all of us had to work very closely together just to say, what can we teach? What can we share from our archives? And that is how Archives Unveiled began. And as we continued our direction of moving online, especially for the past year, and knowing that we still cannot open the museum, at least till the end of the year from the way things are going, we've started to launch, we have been working on a platform called the Y Films, specifically focused on 3 different things. One is that of films by young indie filmmakers for a pay-per-view, so that we can give a chance for our indie filmmakers to have a place where they can also earn with us. So we're going to take care of the whole back room, and we're now on the point of organizing the onboarding of this Y Films, okay? The second part is that of cultural education content, which is what we're opening to a lot of different partners, because we're not the only people who can give content. While we continue to create content from our limited collection pieces in the museum, we know that the collaboration space can be strengthened by us stepping into a space that is a gap. As a platform of the Y Films, cultural content will be co-created with other people so they can also earn alongside with us. And so the last one will be the experts focus on the creative industries of the Philippines. So we're embracing something much bigger. We will be launching this in the next, definitely before Christmas. We're just into the technical sides of it. But this is something now that I want to present to the Tourism Promotion Board and to everybody who's listening here. All you tour guides, all of you people who know there is something in culture around your space that you can share as well as earn from. I want to state this because this is an earning platform for all of us as a win-win. So this is the space that we're entering when it comes to the Y Films and the cultural education. May I have my next slide, please? So this is why when we were discussing what else that is unique, that is a gap on the space of museums that we can fill, this is where we're entering. Now, all of you who are listening here have content on the ground. We are the platform online. And I believe that together, collaborations, we can capture an unlimited digital space together. Because you see, we cannot also continue creating content by ourselves. And therefore, we want to give everybody also the chance to talk about culture with quality. Okay, next slide, please. So we're making a call out here now, and I'm really calling out to the Tourism Promotion Board. If we could look at the partnership alongside Team Asia for this, is that we're calling out to independent tour guides. Do you want to launch a new career? I think this is the best space that you can practice with. Second, we're calling out to the tourism commercial establishments so that you can use your space to sell your unique cultural offering. Okay, I'll explain more later. We're doing a call out to the local government tourism offices so that you can also create content with us and earn. So all of this have an earning capacity because it's a joint venture. And for teachers who have so much knowledge and just need to be helped when it comes to making things more visual, being guided by the message as well as that of a platform. So this is actually everybody listening to us today, and that's 700 maybe strong from here on who can think about this with us. And basically the idea was to look at your space around you and find something totally unique about your culture. For example, and I'll just come from Mount Banahaw because that's where I am right now. I was just listening to the previous speaker who left the city. Well, I'm in the mountain, putting up a bed and breakfast as a destination place. But Mount Banahaw has a strong cultural component, and that is it is the sacred mountain of the Philippines with a syncretic way of faith tourism, unique to the country. Now, if I were a tour guide here and I know what I'm talking about, I can make all these videos beautifully done on my phone. You know, everybody, all those things you saw there, which we put together at the Yuchengco Museum, it's all our phones. This is a small team with our phones. So we know you can do this with us. Think about what you can talk about. It's got to be quality. Think of a nice series. We put it together in a space of the Y films under cultural education. And then later we can bundle this up. So we have different kinds of partnerships where when somebody clicks a pay-per-view, if it is an indie film, there is something there's a percentage that goes to the individual filmmaker. If it is a foundation who actually owns the film, there's something that goes to the foundation. We keep the other half. Now, if you're a tour guide, for example, but you need help when it comes to a production, maybe you might have to take a look at how we can do a production angle versus you doing it. Because there's a post-production. Team Asia, who is the lead for this conference, handling the conference, is somebody I was saying, why can't we discuss with the Tourism Promotion Board to make this a real solid project? Because it will give our tour guides, our tour establishments, and local government additional funds. And together we will create a platform on Philippine culture with you on the ground with us. So this is the basic idea I wanted to leave here towards where we are going during this pandemic period of the museum world. And of course, the moment the pandemic opens up and museums are allowed to open, the same kind of experience that is there in the physicality of art in front of you will be added on to now this new platform. So I believe we have to take a look at real cultural and education that you can talk about, something that is not a marketing tool for your commercial establishments, but you can put at the end something like a slide about your space so people can go to you. But you will embark on documenting what is unique in your area. What I'm saying is that at present, there is no one space where we can consolidate our culture on the ground, which our tour guides already know. You guys know it. So if you're somebody who is in the Baraswa in church, if you were to do a 20-minute or 30-minute video, and we can post-edit it later, please deeply research more, give more substance. Why? Because this will become a legacy you put online with us that internationally now can be reached. The next question, what if you do not speak English very clearly or straight? That's okay. We can always put subtitles under, right? So there's many ways of doing it. But again, we cannot do it one-on-one, which is why my call and challenge the Tourism Promotion Board, do you want to do this with us? And you have all your members coming together to document Philippine culture the pride of our different spaces on the ground. From your food to your textile to your cultural heritage to the way you dance and your festivals to a costume to the way you, there's so many things because culture is how we are and how we live. So it really depends on how you want to present it. So our presentation on the online space is this as a call out to all of you for a moving forward together online. Thank you very much, and I'm open for questions.
Thank you very much, Miss Jeannie Javelosa. Oh, wow. That was a great call out. I'm already seeing the chat. They're already offering their services as long as you can come up with content that would really be enticing, would have substance. You know, you don't even have to worry about having it in English. If you think about it right now, most of the people consuming content, it's not even in English, it's not even in Tagalog, and yet we are addicted. I think Miss Jeannie knows exactly what I'm talking about right now. Thank you, Miss Jeannie. All right, if you have any questions for Miss Jeannie, please put it over on our chat. If you have sent any questions earlier, well then you know what? We will have that for you right now. Thanks again. Okay, so here are the questions coming in right now. How can museums bridge the gap between artist and observer? Ms. Jeannie?
This is where cultural education comes in. Normally, when a visitor comes and sees a piece of art, they are very subjective and they often don't know exactly what the artist is saying. This is why the kinds of tours that we were doing was trying to explain that of the painting and the way the artist was thinking so that the viewer can connect to this. So online, I think, is going to be a fantastic space for cultural education. Really, you know, we need to have a space for our students, for our first and second generations Filipinos abroad, to be able to see how we can make them understand with pride our culture. And so there is that part that is required, right? So this is where we're going into, no? So it's just not the indie filmmakers who will have their space with us. We're talking now to the big producers to see how can we put in films like a pay-per-view. But really, my main focus is cultural education materials. We are also working with the experts who have everything in their head and in their books that they've written, but they don't know how to do it online. So we are taking on that production side. So we have a whole series on cuisine coming up, written by Guillermo Ramos, who has written many books on cultural on cuisine. We have writings and a series by Claude Tayag on cuisine also. We're looking at how can we now, even for the writers who have passed away, how can we make this more exciting? How about children's stories? What if we spoke about it in a storytelling way? So, you know, guys, it's so open and we're so open to new ideas. But I'm just also saying we can't do this one-on-one. We need to work from a platform perspective for quality, guidance, you know, technical things. That's why I was asking Team Asia, could you help us work with perhaps a tourism promotion board?
You know what, Miss Jeannie? I think I'm going to run a thread that's been going. It started with the very first speaker down to you. It's really all about collaboration. This is already a call from Miss Jeannie, open to collaborations. If there's something you've been thinking of, you've been ruminating on an idea, but you don't know how to go about it, there might be somebody who is willing to execute that for you. You just need to find the right person or the right team to collaborate with. Thank you so much, Ms. Jeannie. We've got a final question right here. Is the Y Films open to all students, like for internships, OJT? Ooh, it looks like somebody wants to collaborate right here.
We're going through the whole first level, all the award-winning indie films, all those who've joined festivals, all the cultural related films of our big producers, right? We're fixing it under genres. And so it's actually open to everyone. What we're looking for is quality, substance, to showcase how creative we are as a people. And you earn. You earn. That's the point. We need to help with the livelihood of all our other people around the country. So come on, tour guides, I think you can do this. I really believe you can do this because you're on the ground there.
Yeah. Quality, substance, those are the key words. Miss Jeannie, how can they get in touch with you if they feel that they check on all those points?
Okay, I'm going to call out the Tourism Promotion Board only because I cannot do this. We cannot do this on a one-on-one. We're going to be swamped, and
Okay.
we just have to organize it, right? So can the Tourism Promotion Board, for example, have a different Zoom for those really interested, and then we can give out some kind of a guidance
Yes.
and examples. Maybe we can begin with a small group of tour guides in one. Another is LGU tourism guides, and the other one can be commercial establishments. So there could be like a program, and then we all look at it together with quality. So everybody also learns, and they can use all the techniques here that you're teaching. But I'm coming from put it online to earn from, as well as create as a legacy to teach others about our culture.
Heaps of bright ideas starting right here. Thank you very much. Please send her love and appreciation over on the chat section. Once again, that is Ms. Jeannie Javelosa. Thank you very much, Ms. Jeannie. Thank you
Very
for
much.
joining us.